Alright, what we're going to do here is we're going to use a kit to make a pen, and it's probably the cheapest kits you can get, and you all know them, probably the Slimline pen kits, and there's a few different ones like the I think there's a fancy Slimline and there's a few others, but they're all pretty much the same. And in that kit, of course, you get the refill, you get the mechanism that pushes the refill in and out, you get the brass tubes, which is your standard 7mm brass tubes. There's the nib, there's the clip, and I like the ones which are just plain. I don't like any of the weird ones that you can get. I think you know what I mean. And then you get another couple of bits. You've got the top, and I do love these little bags. They're great. So you get the little top bit, which squeezes in to the brass tube and holds the clip, and then you get this center ring. Nice. Well, that's great, but everyone in this pet sheep makes these slimline pens, and they can be quite fun. So there's one I've done, acrylic one, which looks quite nice, and I've put a little captive ring on the top. And I've been calling that my fidget pen way before fidget spinners came out. Anyway, but the only problem with these pens is that you're limited, or people assume you're limited, and the limitation is that center band. Because to make the pen look nice, you have to get down to that diameter, which is a real pest, because I don't like them when they're all that same diameter for a start. They feel too thin, and I know they're called slimline pens. So this one, you can see it's got a little bit of a curve on it, right? Well, you can do, of course, what people have done, something called a modified slimline. Now, instead of it being two pieces, like this one, you can do it as just one piece. And you can have some success with that. This one I've classed as a failure because I didn't like this tip. A bit I think it started to crack or something, I can't remember. But there's quite a fun one which I did. And in order to open and close this pen, you actually grip the nib and you twist that. So there it is, open, of course. There it's closed. Now, I've done a few of these, and occasionally that's quite hard to turn. But I like the way that you've got total freedom over the thickness of the barrel of the pen. So I thought, well, why can't we just get rid of the centre band and still have it in two parts? Well, that's great, but without that centre band, you're going to have to make sure that that wood in the middle meets up perfectly. When you open that pen up, you don't want it to be different when you open it, and so on and so forth. So what I've done is I've made something that helps do the job. And I've used it a few times now. I've made this. And it's dead simple. I'm going to show you how that works later on. Okay? So what we're going to do, I've got a couple of bits of wood here. I've got a bit of beech and sapele. I only know that because it's written on. And those two woods are nicely contrasting and work together. And I'm going to cut a couple of blanks as you normally would. Glue these brass tubes in. I'm going to spare you the detail on that. So obviously I'm going to drill these out, glue these in, and then I'm going to show you how I trim the ends using the barrel trimmer that you can get. A lot of people have got them. I'll show you which ones I mean. Like that one. And that does a good job at trimming the barrel ends, and you need to get those obviously at right angles to the brass. So once I've got it to there, I'm going to show you what happens next. Okay? So the next time you see in this video, it'll be the brass is glued into the blanks, and we're about to trim it off with this. Okay? Okay. Okay, we are back. And there's your normal pen mandrel. There's the blanks. And I've obviously used my barrel trimmer. Where's it gone? Here it is. Barrel trimmer in the drill. I don't have a bench pillar drill, so I hold it in the chuck. I hold the wood in the chuck and then drill it. So I've drilled it, and you get that typical nice smooth cut out there. But you get like these wings of where the wood is still too long. Okay? And that's fine, because you just normally turn it down to the brass or close to it. It's on both ends, of course. Alright? And likewise on that one. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this on the mandrel until these longer bits are gone. So I'm probably going to turn just to inside them. Once I see they're gone, I'm going to take the blanks off the mandrel again, and I'm going to show you something. So let's set that up. So, put your normal, the normal bushings and so on. I'm going to put a couple on there. That on there. And the one in the middle. And that's there. And one up here, and then bring in the tail, lock that down, put a bit of pressure on. You don't want too much, do you? Because you feel you're bending this thing. So I'm just going to spin this up, and I'm going to turn it down. Stop it there because we're getting close. There's still just a couple of these ends where the wood was slightly longer, so I'm just going to go a little bit further. Alright, you see that there? Just going to go a little bit further on both blanks. Okay. That's still there a little bit, but I think that'll be alright. Now I'm going to take them off. And I'm going to quite deliberately mark there and there. Because I want those two faces to be absolutely true, so that when you butt them up against each other, they're perfectly joined, 90 degrees to the brass, and when you twist them around, you don't start to get gaps anywhere. Which means I'm going to use this special tool I made. I've got a couple of them. Right, now, we said before, that's your normal pen mandrel. For the slimline pen kits, it's obviously 7mm brass tubes. But the internal diameter of that, I think it's 6.8. Let's measure this up. 6 point, did I say 6.8? I'm a liar. 6.5 maybe. Okay. Look at these. Those are 6. So they fit inside the brass tube lovely, right? So what I did is I bought these, which are stainless rods, I guess. I think you could specify the length. But they're 6mm. And that fits nicely inside there. Okay? A bit like the way the barrel trimmer fits inside. Okay? So then what I did is I drilled a perfect hole in a piece of wood and put it and glued it onto one of these little stainless rods. And then I chucked it up and I turned it down to a nice round. And then on there, I stuck some sandpaper. Now I managed to cut them out at work nice and round, but it doesn't have to be nice and round. But you do want it to go right up to that metal in the centre. So I guess you could, drill a 6mm hole in them, glue it on and just trim it round. You could probably turn it down to that, but I used a cutter at work. So I just happen to have another one here. They're both pretty much exactly the same, but I think this one's got a fresher pad in it. So I'm just going to put that in the drill. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn that end. And I want to sand it down. See? And what's happening? Well, I'm just getting that perfect. Okay, and I could do the other end if I want. But that is lovely. So now I'm going to get the other one. And that's, we've marked it, that's the end I wanted, definitely wanted spot on. Okay, easy peasy. Oh, I'll do that end, why not? Alright. Okay. So now we're going to put it back on the mandrel. But, oh, what a shock. We're not going to put the centre piece in. And look at that. If you can see that or not. It's like in. that is pretty good. Okay, let's put these back up against there. Let's turn this now. Yeah, I do need to bring the tip down to the bushings, and I need to bring the top down to the bushings, but the middle I don't. I do what I like. So I'm just going to do it like a cigar shape, right? Let's see what happens. Let's just sand this off. Well, if I finish on this. I'm not going to do a see it finish. It'll take too long. Just a little bit of shellac. Okay, so that's what we have. I foolishly brought a bit of the metal in the sanding into the wood there. That's pretty schoolboy, but it's pretty nice. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the tail away, the bushings off. Now, just to be nice to the wood, just going to get a little bit of boiled linseed, just a little bit. Okay, just going to dress the end of that. I like to do that. Now, because the bushings have been pressing on there, sometimes they put a little indentation in, you know, when it slips on the mandrel. So what I do is I bring that little sander system back, and that one's not going to be too bad, but I'm going to just dress that up slightly, hardly touch it really. I'll dress that one up, hardly anything. And then the other one. Not doing really very much. Okay. And now I'm going to start putting this pen together. Alright, let's put our pieces up here, or on the floor. And I'll show you something else that I made for the lathe, but it's no big deal. So I don't have a pen press, but I did have Morse taper. And this one, which goes into my pen mandrel. So I can use it. Now I'm just going to put the nib in. Never remember which way around to do this. Put the nib in. Yes, I do. So I just put that there like that. Bring this up, lock it down, tighten up. Go. It's all good. And then the mechanism. Now I never do it straight up to that line. That's where they say it's got to go. But I always come a bit short of that. Because I never know where the refill's going to be, you know, when you turn it in and out. So what I do is I get the refill, put that in there, and turn it in and out. It needs to go in a little bit more. So okay, let's do that. Now, just wants to bury itself in the wood. There we go. Let's see what that's like. That's pretty good. Possibly further than I wanted, but how did I get carried away? No, I don't know. Right, so that's fine. That's okay. Let's get the rest of the pen together. And the rest of the pen is obviously the clip and this little bit. So that goes in there. And then that goes in there. And we'll put it all up together again. At this point, decide where you want the clip to be. Which bit of wood do you want to be on the outside? And then just nip it up a little bit to where you can twist this round. Careful it doesn't scratch the wood down here. This has been known. Right, I'm going to go there. You can nip that up. So you put these two together, so there's your pen, and then here's the other end. You knit those two in together, and trust me, and I'm very pedantic, there is an acceptable line between those two bits of wood. And would I lie to you and say it's perfectly smooth? No, I can feel there's a line there, but tell you what, there is nothing wrong with that at all. Now I have done these where I've turned another bit of wood there, or I've glued a different colour bit of wood to that, So you've got like a, you know, contrasting maybe a bit of black wood, and then the end of the pen. But that, I think, to me, is a better use of a slimline kit than doing your normal skinny middle. Likewise, you know, the modified one where you turn the nib, and I've had people, like I say, saying they couldn't turn it, it was too tight. So I'm pretty pleased with that. Close. It's pretty good, eh? And that's all because I could sand off those faces. I could get those faces, yeah, so that they were spot on. They don't look good, do they? There's lots of lines on them. Well, I'll tell you what, they work okay. Give it a try if you want. You probably already have, but it works great. There you go. My version of a not so slim slimline. Cheers. Thanks a lot.
Leech's daughter, which one is the virgin?
I don't like if our minds are tossing in the ocean there.